Sandra Bullock is the down-to-earth girl next door.
She's just that type of girl you could invite over for like beer, pretzels, and a poker game.
Nothing is too disgusting for Bullock.
Because Sandra is a girl who just wants to have fun.
She's like this ever-ready thing. She just never gets tired. She's never crabby. She's always in a good mood.
The spirited actress is more tomboy than fashionista.
Sandy loves a big ball gown but wants to step in a puddle and put her hair in funny pigtails.
I'm like a designer's dream, but then the nightmare once I put it on and I don't pull it off.
When it comes to the red carpet, Sandra definitely knows how to pull it off.
It's like dress up. It's like playtime.
Sandra talks about basically having no fashion sense, and I think that's what makes other women able to relate to her.
I put some tulle just to sort of make it a little more feminine, and then my mother's curtains are underneath.
Sandra Bullock is America's sweetheart, a quirky comedienne, and a style star.
I mean, you say it's not about the dress, but it's so about the dress. It's so about the dress.
Sandra Bullock is the real deal.
It's horrible. Sorry.
She is absolutely fantastic.
She's very funny. She's a clown.
She's really down to earth and really fun, you know, slightly out of her mind.
Sandra's playful approach to life applies to her style, too.
Sandra Bullock has always said she was a tomboy, she was kind of dorky, all of her parts didn't fit. When you look at her today, she still has that. Just being that girl who had her knees scruffed up and just wearing jeans and t-shirts, and that's really who she is at heart.
The actress was born Sandra Annette Bullock on July 26, 1964 in Arlington, Virginia.
She didn't have a traditional American upbringing at all.
That's my mom, my dad.
Her mom was an opera singer. Her dad was going to give voice lessons to professional singers all around the world. And this is what she grew up in.
In high school, the tomboy put away her parents' high culture to play the class clown. After a stint in college, Sandra hit the Big Apple to chase her acting dreams.
She moved to New York. She was really hungry, wanted to succeed, and started getting some stage roles and television appearances.
In 1989, Sandra headed west for Hollywood. After landing a few parts, Bullock won her first big film role in Demolition Man. Sandra learned firsthand from co-star Sylvester Stallone how clothes make the woman.
He said I was like his brother, and then he said I was like a guy that he got to high school with. And after a while, I'm going, wait a minute. So I think it's just the wardrobe. I think I need to put on a dress very soon because I'm losing my femininity rapidly.
The following year, it wasn't clothes that got Sandra noticed. Instead, her career took off with blinding speed.
The movie was a huge box office hit, and people really loved Sandra because you were rooting for her. She had this sort of fumbling, imperfect disposition that many people found accessible.
Speed made Sandra Bullock. Without Speed, she just would have been another pretty girl in Hollywood trying to make it.
Sandra did make it, but her breakout roles as a woman driving a bus in Speed and a subway worker in While You Were Sleeping were far from glamorous.
I wanted to make my way through all of the public transportation aspects just so that nobody else would come in and do it.
Sandra's salary and star status skyrocketed, but her style wasn't adding up.
Her early fashion days, when she was sort of just breaking out into the scene after Speed, she tried to experiment with that fun personality with her fashion. I don't think it worked for her. And I don't think she will go home and like think about jumping off the bridge if she's on one of the worst dress lists.
After all, Sandra focused on acting rather than fashion. That was before she turned to top designer Calvin Klein for the 1996 Academy Awards.
It's kind of the perfect designer for her in that it fits her really well. Great, simple fit. She looks slim and elegant and definitely sexy, but very fresh and American and clean.
Minimal was in, she was very in. It was a great combination. So she was wearing a lot of Calvin Klein.
For the tomboy turned movie star, dressing up didn't come naturally. So Sandra stuck with Calvin for the Blockbuster Awards later that year.
outfit she wore to the second Blockbuster Awards was kind of fun. You know, now you look back on it and you go, wow, it's very this season.
She sort of looked like she could be out fighting crime in the 60s, or she could be getting an award.
Sandra did get the Blockbuster Award. After the win, she sang the praises of Calvin Klein.
I'd have to say it's simple enough to where I can figure it out. If it gets too confusing for me, I'm spending all my time looking for a latch or a zipper or Velcro, and it just has to be one-step dressing for me, or I get into a lot of trouble.
Sandra Bullock's career shifted into high gear after her star-making turn in Speed.
I think that Speed is really the movie that launched Sandra Bullock into the spotlight.
That movie really catapulted her career, and you know, for the next 6-7 years, she made movie after movie after movie, and it all goes back to Speed.
And Sandra's style made serious headway too.
All these hit movies, one right after the other, you don't have time to live and learn. You have to be right there on the red carpet and be glamorous.
Over the years, as Sandra's become more and more successful, she's also become more and more glamorous when she's seen out.
In 1998, close friend and photographer Dan Winters worked with the star on a magazine cover for Texas Monthly. Sandra's good-natured attitude helped solve a hairy problem.
They had such a hard time with their hair. They kept working on it, working on it, working on it, and at one point I remember her kind of just undoing everything that they'd collectively done together. She just, you know, kind of wrestled it all and grabbed part of it and pulled it out and kind of did something and tied something, and she's like, let's go.
That devil-may-care approach continued during the photo shoot.
Sandy climbed this barbed wire fence and went over in this field across the street from where we were shooting, and there were all these purple flowers in bloom. She went over there and she started picking all these purple flowers and inserting them into her hair, and what she created without even a mirror, you know, just from, it was so beautiful, and those photographs of her are so beautiful. I love her nose, and her lips are unbelievable, and her eyes, and her, you know, everything. It's amazing.
Sandra did look amazing, and her love life appeared pretty hot, too.
When I think of A Time to Kill, you know, I just think of that chemistry between Matthew McConaughey and Sandra Bullock.
They know each other, there's a comfort factor, they speak the same language.
She's very private about her romantic life, and is probably smart.
By the 1997 Academy Awards, Sandra was smart enough to pay more attention to her red carpet couture, but pulling it all together for the Oscars took some doing.
The dress got flown from Italy and came in the night before and just didn't really work. Sandy was a good camper. She didn't, you know, have a diva fit, like, I'm not gonna wear this. And there was a dress that she had originally seen by Richard Tyler. It was very Sandy, you know, it was dressy and romantic, but definitely had a hippie chic feel. And sure enough, the day of the Oscars, we made that dress work.
The following year, Sandra starred in Practical Magic with Nicole Kidman.
It was a chick flick. It was a date film, but mostly a chick flick.
For the movie premiere, the actress turned on the charm.
She looked ladylike, she looked clean and pretty and fun, but she didn't look like her clothes were wearing her. And that is Sandra's special trick on the red carpet.
Sandra dared to mix fun with fashion during a New York shoot for German Marie Claire.
We ended up shooting part of it on the West Side Highway on the dividers. And it was her idea to sort of walk the middle of the road. At that point, she was really well known. She was sort of strutting along this little pathway, and cars were stopping.
And well-dressed, Sandra looked simply divine in Christian Dior at the 1998 Golden Globe Awards.
I love seeing Sandra Bullock in very, very simple gowns. Things that show off her beautiful shoulders and her long neck.
That was probably one of my favorite dresses she ever wore.
Through trial and error, the actress grew into her red carpet persona.
I'm wearing a black suit, Helmut Lang, because it feels good. I'm wearing Libby Lane and Prada on my feet.
I think this is a girl who, if she never saw a ball gown again, would be completely happy, but is also happy to wear something beautiful when the moment strikes.
Sandra's string of movie successes just kept on coming. She co-starred with Ben Affleck in the 1999 film Forces of Nature.
Sandra's character in the movie was very similar to who she is in real life. Sort of a tomboy, a lot of fun, a wild card, a girl that loves to go out and have a good time.
At the opening, the once reluctant clothes horse hit another fashion home run.
This is a quintessential Sandy outfit, too, because it's very her. It's a little sexy, but not too sexy. And then a satin skirt that makes it glamorous. Low cut back, kind of falling off the shoulders, little tummy showing just the right amount, but never too much.
Sandra's performance in Forces of Nature won the Funny Lady a Teen Choice Award for Best Hissy Fit.
Something about being in my underwear and being really pissed off. This is what the Academy Awards should be about. You know, best vomiting scene, best, you know, important things like that that we really watch on film. Yeah. We really remember after the movie's over.
When she goes to like